Act Two Audiobook, Visit. The small town, just a bare indication of it. In the background, the exterior of the Golden Apostle Hotel. Dilapidated Art Nouveau facade, balcony. On the right a sign, Alfred Ill, General Store. Beneath it, a dirty counter. Behind that, a shelf with old merchandise. Whenever someone enters through the imaginary door, a bell tinkles. On the left, a sign, Police. Beneath it, a wooden table with a telephone. 2 chairs. It is morning. Roby and Toby enter, left, chewing gum, carrying wreaths and flowers as though in preparation for a funeral, and cross the stage toward the back and into the hotel. It watches them through the window. His daughter is sweeping the floor on her knees. His son puts a cigarette in his mouth. Wreaths. Every morning they bring them food from the station. From the empty coffin in the Golden Apostle. Doesn't scare anyone. The town is on my side. Is Mother coming down for breakfast? She's staying upstairs. She says she's tired. You have a good mother, children. I have to say it for once. A good mother. Let her stay upstairs. Let her rest and take it easy. We'll have breakfast together. Just the 3 of us. We haven't done that in a long time. I'll contribute some eggs and a can of American ham. Let's live it up. Like in the good old days, when the Hopewell foundry was thriving. You'll have to excuse me. You don't want to eat with us, Carl? I'm going to the station. One of the workers is sick. Maybe they need a replacement. Working on the railroad in the blazing sun, that's no job for my boy. Better than no job at all. I'm leaving too, Father. You too? May I ask where you're going, young lady? To the employment office. Maybe they have an opening. Good children. Fine kids. Hand me my left leg, Bobby. I can't find it. On the dresser behind the flowers I received from my fiancée. Good morning, Hofbauer. Cigarettes. The usual. Not those. I want the green ones. More expensive. Charge it. Since it's you, Hofbauer, and because we all have to stick together. Someone's playing the guitar. One of the gangsters from Sing Sing. Good morning, Alfred. Good morning. Go to hell. We're going fishing. We're going fishing. They're going to the Gullenbrook. With her husband's fishing rods. Her 7th. I heard he's lost his tobacco plantations. They belong to the billionaireess as well. But there's going to be a terrific wedding with her 8th. Yesterday they celebrated their engagement. I'm reassembled, the Armenian folk tune, Roby. Zakanassian's favorite piece. He always wanted to hear it. Every morning, he had class all right. The old tycoon, with his tremendous fleet of oil tankers and his racing stables, and billions in the bank. A marriage like that was still worthwhile. A great teacher, a great dancer, a master of all sorts of devilry. I learned all his tricks. Milk, Mr. Ill. My can, Mr. Ill. Good morning. A quart of milk for each of the ladies. Whole milk, Mr. Ill. 2 quarts of whole milk, Mr. Ill. Whole milk. A lovely autumn morning. Light mist in the streets. A silvery haze. And above that a violet blue sky like the ones Count Holk liked to paint. My 3rd one, the foreign minister. Took up painting on his holidays. Hideous pictures. The Count was altogether hideous. And butter, half a pound. And white bread, 2 large loaves. Music have come into money, ladies. Charge it. All for one and one for all. Plus some chocolate for $2.20. $4.40. Charge that too? That too. We'll eat these here, Mr. Ill. We like your shop best, Mr. Ill. Hey, Cohibas. I want to try my 7th husband's brand. Now that we're divorced. Poor Moby, with his passion for fish. He said he must be now, sitting in the train to Portugal. In Lisbon, one of my oil tankers will take him along to Brazil. There she is, sitting on her balcony, puffing her cigar. Always sinfully expensive brands. Conspicuous consumption. In full view of destitute humanity. She ought to be ashamed of herself. Curious. Not bad at all. She miscalculated. I'm an old sinner. Hofbauer. Who isn't? It was a mean trick I played on her as a kid. But the way they all rejected that offer, the Gulliners in the Golden Apostle, unanimously, despite our misery, that was the most beautiful moment of my life. Whiskey, Bobby, straight up. Good morning, going to be a hot day. This spell of weather just goes on and on. The customers I've had this morning, usually there's one for the longest time. Usually there's no one for the longest time, and now for the past few days, they're coming in droves. It's because we stand by you. We stick by our ill, firm as rock. Firm as rock, Mr. Ill. After all, you're the most popular man in town. The most important. You'll be elected mayor in the spring. That's dead certain. Dead certain, Mr. Ill, dead certain. Schnapps. Wake the new one. I don't like it when my husband sleeps so long. 310. Not that one. That's what you always have. Cognac. That's 2035. No one can afford that. A man deserves a treat now and then. It's outrageous the way Louise is carrying on. And she's engaged to that blonde musician from Bertold Schwarzstrasse. Cognac and tobacco for my pipe. All right. Imported. Husband, 8, a movie star, tall, slender, red mustache, appears on the balcony, wearing a dressing gown. He can be played by the same actor as husband 7. Hopsy, isn't this marvelous? A newly engaged and our first breakfast together. Like a dream, a little balcony, a rustling linden tree, a splashing of the town hall fountain, a few chickens running across the street, housewives chattering somewhere about their small cares, and behind the rooftops, the spiral of the cathedral. Sit down, Hobie. Don't talk. I can see the landscape myself, and thinking is not your strong suit. Now the husband's sitting up there too. Her 8th. Good-looking man. A movie star. My daughter saw him as a wrestler in a western. I saw him as a priest in Graham Greene. You can get anything for money. Not from us. 23.8. Charge it. I'll make an exception this week, but be sure to pay me on the 1st when the welfare checks are due. Helmsberger! You've got new shoes, new yellow shoes. So, you too, Hofbauer. You too are wearing new shoes. You too, new yellow shoes. New yellow shoes. I don't know what you're getting at. We can't just keep walking around in the same old shoes. New shoes. How could you buy new shoes? We bought them on credit, Mr. Ill. We bought them on credit. You bought them on credit. You bought from me on credit too. Better tobacco, better milk, cognac. Why are you suddenly getting credit in all the stores? But you yourself are giving us credit. How are you going to pay? How are you going to pay? How are you going to pay? How? How? The natives are restless. Small town existence. Seems to be trouble in the shop down there. They must be haggling over the price of meat. For God's sake, Hopsy, did you hear that? The Black Panther, he hissed. A Black Panther? From the Pasha of Marrakesh. A present. Walks around in the vestibule next door. A large wicked cat with sparkling eyes. You may serve, Bobby. What do you want, Ill? Have a seat. You're trembling. I demand the arrest of Claire Zakanassian. Peculiar. Extremely peculiar. I demand it as the future mayor. You haven't been elected yet. Arrest the lady on the spot. You mean you want to bring charges against the lady? Whether she then gets arrested is for the police to decide? Has she broken a law? She's inciting the people for the town to kill me. And now I'm supposed to simply arrest her. The mail. One from Ike. Nehru. They send congratulations. Your duty. Peculiar. Extremely peculiar. It's perfectly natural. Dear Ill, it's not all that natural. Let's examine the case with a calm, level mind. The lady made a proposal to the town of Gölen. 1 billion in exchange for you? You know what I mean. That's a fact. I was there. But these are not sufficient grounds for the police to take action against Claire Zakanassian. We have to abide by the law. Incitement to murder. Now listen here, Il. We can speak of incitement to murder only if the proposal to murder you is meant seriously. That's only logical. I agree. Precisely. Now this proposal cannot be meant seriously, because the price of 1 billion is just too extreme. You have to admit that yourself. For something like this, people offer 1,000, maybe 2,000, definitely no more than that. You can bet your life on it, which again proves that the proposal wasn't meant seriously. And if it were meant seriously, the police could not take the lady seriously, because in that case she would be crazy. You understand? The proposal threatens me, officer, whether the lady is crazy or not. That's only logical. Illogical. You can't be threatened by a proposal, only by carrying out a proposal. Show me one genuine attempt to carry out this proposal. For instance, a man pointing a gun at you, and I'll be faster than you can blink an eye. But the truth of the matter is that no one intends to carry out this proposal. On the contrary, the demonstration at the Golden Apostle was extremely impressive. Congratulations is all I can say. I'm not so sure, officer. Not so sure. My customers are buying better milk, better bread, better cigarettes. Be glad. Business is looking up. Bobby, arrange for all the DuPont shares to be bought. Helmsberger came to buy cognac. He hasn't had a job for years and depends on the soup kitchen. I'll have a taste of that cognac tonight. Helmsberger's invited me over. They're all wearing new shoes. New yellow shoes. What do you have against new shoes? I'm wearing new shoes myself. You too. There you have it. Yellow ones too. And drinking Pilsner beer. It's good. You used to drink the local beer. It was awful. Do you hear that? So, music. The Merry Widow. A radio. It's Hagholzer next door. He should close the window. How did Hagholzer get a radio? That's his business. And you, officer, how are you going to pay for your Pilsner and your new shoes? That's his business. That's my business. Golan police. Bobby, call up the Russians and tell them I accept their offer. Okay. My customers, how are they going to pay? That doesn't concern the police. But it concerns me, because it's me they're going to use for payment. No one is threatening you. The town's going into debt. Debt and prosperity are both on the rise. The higher the standard of living, the greater the need to kill me. So all the lady has to do is sit on her balcony, drink coffee, smoke cigars, and wait. Just wait. You're imagining things. You're all waiting. You've had too much schnapps. There, now it's loaded. Rest assured, the police are here to enforce respect for the law, to maintain order, to protect the private citizen. The police know their duty. If the faintest suspicion of a threat arises, we will step in, Mr. Ill. You can be sure of that. Why do you have a gold tooth in your mouth, officer? What? A gleaming new gold tooth. Are you out of your mind? I don't have time to debate with you about your hallucinations, man. I have to go. That screwy billionairess has lost her little lap dog, the Black Panther. I have to hunt it down. The whole town has to hunt it down. It's me you're hunting. Me. He's coming, the dress designer, my fifth husband, the most good-looking of all my husbands. He still designs all my wedding gowns. A minuet, Roby. But your fifth was a surgeon. My sixth, from the owner of Western Railways. I never heard of that one. My fourth, impoverished. His shares belong to me. Seduced him in Buckingham Palace, in the light of the full moon. But that was Lord Ishmael. So it was. You're right, Hobie. I forgot all about him and his castle in Yorkshire. So this letter must be for my second. Met him in Cairo. We kissed beneath the Sphinx. Impressive evening. Another full moon. Curious. The moon was always full. I have to talk to you, Your Honor. Have a seat. Man to man, as your successor. Be my guest. Madame Zakanassian's panther has escaped. It's climbing around in the cathedral, so we have to be armed. Sure. I've called up all the men who have weapons. The children are being kept in school. Sounds like a major operation. Big game hunting. The president of the World Bank, madam, just flew in from New York. I'm not available. Tell him to fly back. What's eating you? You don't have to mince words. Just tell me. That's a fine brand you're smoking. A Pegasus Claro. Pretty expensive, but worth it. You used to smoke a different brand, Your Honor. Trotters. Cheaper. Much too strong. A new tie? Silk. And I suppose you bought new shoes too. I had a pair shipped from Karlbostad. And that's funny. How did you know? This is why I've come to see you. What is the matter with you? You look pale. Are you sick? I'm scared. Scared? Prosperity is on the rise. That's news to me. I wish it were so. I demand official protection. Really? What for? Your Honor, you already know what for. Suspicious? $1 billion has been offered for my head. Approach the police. I've been to the police. That should have reassured you. There's a new gold tooth gleaming in the officer's mouth. You forgot that you're in Gölen, a town with a humanist tradition. Goethe slept here. Brahms composed a quartet. These values impose an obligation. The new typewriter, Your Honor. A Remington. It's for the office. We don't deserve your ingratitude. If you're unable to place any trust in our community, I pity you. I never expected to see this nihilistic streak in you. You seem to forget that we live under the rule of law. The panther is loose. The panther is loose! We've heard him growling! We've heard him growling! We're going to Hobie and Bobie! To Toby and Roby! Then arrest the lady. Peculiar. Extremely peculiar. That's what the police officer said too. God knows the lady's actions aren't all that hard to understand. After all, you did bribe two fellows to commit a perjury, and you did condemn a young girl to life for a naked misery. This naked misery amounts to several billions, Your Honor. Let's talk honestly. I would appreciate that. Man to man, the way you wanted. You don't have the moral right to demand the arrest of this lady. Nor is there any chance of your becoming mayor. I'm sorry to have to tell you this. Officially, on behalf of both parties. I understand. The fact that we condemn the lady's proposal does not mean that we condone the crimes that led to this proposal. For a man to hold the mayor's office, he must meet certain moral requirements that you are no longer able to fulfill. You have to understand that. We will, of course, continue to show you the same high regard and the same friendship as always. That goes without saying. I think it's best if we pass over the whole affair in silence. I've also asked the Gölen Herald not to let any of it get into print. They're already decorating my coffin, Mayor. Silence is too dangerous for me. But why, my dear Ale? You should be thankful we're leaving this whole nasty business cloaked in oblivion. If I speak, I still have a chance to escape. Now that's really too much. Who would be threatening you? One of you. Who are you suspecting? Tell me his name and I will investigate the case, relentlessly. Every one of you. I protest in the name of our town against this libel, solemnly. No one wants to kill me. Everyone hopes that someone will do it, and so at some point, someone will. You are seeing ghosts. I see a blueprint on the wall. The new town hall. My God, I should hope we can still make plans. You're already speculating on my death. My dear fellow, if I, as a politician, no longer had the right to believe in a better future without having to contemplate a crime, rest assured that I would resign. You have already condemned me to death. Mr. Rill, the blueprint proves it. Proves it! Onassis is coming. The Duke and the Duchess. Aga. Ali too? The whole Rivera crowd. Journalists? From all over the world. Whenever I marry, the press is always present. It needs me. And I need it. From Count Hulk. Hopsy, this is our first breakfast together. Do you really have to spend it reading letters from your former husbands? I want to keep track of them. I have problems too. Something wrong with your Porsche? Small towns like this depress me. All right, the linden tree's rustling, birds are singing, the fountain is splashing, but they were already doing that half an hour ago. There's just nothing happening, neither in nature nor in the people. Nothing but deep, untroubled peace, contentment, satiety, and comfort. No grandeur, no tragedy, none of the ethical calling of a great age. Come in, ill. Come to the vestry. It's dark here, but cool. I hope I'm not disturbing you, Pastor. The house of God is open to all. Don't be surprised by the weapon. Mrs. Zakanassian's Black Panther is prowling about. It was up in the rafters a moment ago, then in the woods of Conradsville, and now in Peterson's barn. I need protection. From what? I'm afraid. Afraid of whom? Of people. Afraid that people will kill you, ill? They're hunting me like a wild beast. We should not fear people, but God. Not the death of the body, but of the soul. Button the back of my cassock, sexton. My life is at stake. Your eternal life. Affluence is on the rise. The ghost of your conscience. The people are cheerful. The girls are putting on makeup. The boys are wearing colorful shirts. The town is preparing the feast of my murder, and I am dying of horror. It's all positive, only positive. What you're going through, it's hell. Hell is within you. You're older than I, and you think you know people. But one only knows oneself. Because you once betrayed a girl for money, many years ago. You now think the people, too, will betray you for money. You judge others by your own actions. It's only natural. The source of our anxiety is in our hearts, in our sin. Once you have recognized this, you will be able to conquer what is tormenting you, and you will receive weapons to assist you. The Siementoffers bought a washing machine. Don't worry about that. On credit. You should worry about the immorality of your soul. And the stalker's a TV set. Pray, sexton, my bands. Search your conscience. Go the way of your repentance. Otherwise the world will rekindle your fear again and again. It is the only way. We cannot do otherwise. Now I must discharge my office, ill. I have a baptism to perform. The Bible, sexton, the liturgy, the psalter. The baby is starting to scream. It must be moved into safety, into the only glimmer of light that illumines our world. A second bell? The sound is excellent, don't you think? Strong and full. Positive. Only positive. You too, Father, you too! Flee! We are weak, Christians in heaven alike. Flee! The bell is resounding in Gölen. The bell of treachery. Flee and lead us not into temptation by staying. Flee! Flee! Bobby, they're shooting. Indeed they are, madam. But why? The panther escaped. Did they hit him? He's dead, madam. Stretch out in front of Ill's shop. Poor little thing. A funeral march. Roby. The Gulleners are assembling, madam, to bring you their condolences. Let them. Dear madam, what do you want, teacher of Gölen? We have been rescued from a great danger. The Black Panther was balefully prowling our streets, but even though we breathe a sigh of relief, we still deplore the death of such a precious zoological rarity. Wherever human beings settle, the animal world is impoverished. We are not unmindful of this tragic dilemma. We therefore wish to intone a song of choral lamentation, a dirge, madam, composed by Heinrich Schütz. Very well, let's hear the dirge. Quiet! This dirge, we are singing you this dirge. But Mr. Ill, in view of the Black Panther's death, it's for my death you're practicing this song, for my death. Now really, Mr. Ill, this is going too far. Get out of here! Beat it! Go home! Take a little spin in your Porsche, Hobie. But Hopsy, scram! Clara! Alfred! Why are you bothering those poor people? I'm afraid, Clara. But it's nice of you. I don't care for this constant singing. I hated it even back in school. Do you remember, Alfred, how we used to run the woods of Conradsville when the mixed choir was practicing in front of the town hall with the brass band? Clara, tell me, it's just a show you're putting on. That it's not true. What are you asking for? Say it! How strange, Alfred. These memories. I was on a balcony then, too, the day we first set eyes on each other. It was an autumn evening like now, movement in the air. Just once in a while rustling in the trees in the park. And hot. I suppose it's hot now too, though recently I've been freezing all the time. And you were standing there, looking up at me, on and on. I was embarrassed and didn't know what to do. I wanted to go inside, into the dark room, and I couldn't. I am desperate. I am capable of anything. I warn you, Clara, I am determined to do whatever it takes if you don't tell me now that it's not a joke. A cruel joke. And you didn't walk away, down there on the street. You kept staring up at me, looking almost sinister, almost evil, as if you wanted to hurt me. And yet your eyes were full of love. And two fellows were standing next to you, Kobe and Lobi. They grinned when they saw you staring up at me. And then I left the balcony and went down to where you were. You didn't greet me. You didn't say a word to me. But you took my hand. And so we walked away from the town, into the fields, and behind us, like two dogs, Kobe and Lobi. And then you picked up some stones and threw them at them. And then they ran back to the town howling, and we were alone. Escort me to my room, Bobby. I have to dictate some letters to you. After all, I have to transfer $1 billion from my account. The Black Panther's dead. The Black Panther's dead. Good morning, Il. Good morning. Good morning. Where are you going with that suitcase? Where are you going? To the station. We'll come along. We'll come along. We'll come along. There's no need, really. It's not worth the trouble. Are you going on a trip, Il? I'm going on a trip. And where are you going to? I don't know. To Kalbertstad? And then on? Aha, and then on. To Australia, if possible. I'll find the money somehow. To Australia? To Australia! But why? You can't always stay in the same place, year after year. Emigrating to Australia? That's ridiculous. And for you, the most dangerous thing to do. One of those two little eunuchs emigrated to Australia. Right here is where you're most safe. Most safe, most safe. I wrote to the governor in Kaffigan. And no answer. We can't understand why you're so suspicious. No one is trying to kill you. No one. No one. The post office didn't send the letter. Impossible. The postmaster is a member of the town council. A man of honor. A man of honor. A man of honor. Here, a poster. Travel south. So what? Visit the Passion Play at Obermargau. So what? There's construction work going on. So what? You're getting richer, more and more affluent. So what? You see how popular you are. The whole town's coming along with you. The whole town. The whole town. I didn't ask you to come. Surely we can say goodbye to you. As old friends. As old friends. As old friends. Gullen! That's your train. Your train. Your train. Well, Il, have a good trip. A good trip. A good trip. A healthy, happy life. A healthy, happy life. It's time. Get on the train to Kalbertstad, and God be with you. And lots of luck in Australia. Lots of luck, lots of luck. And what more do you want? All aboard! Why are you crowding around me? We're not crowding around you. Let me pass. But we are letting you pass. We're letting you pass. We're letting you pass. One of you will hold me back. Nonsense. You just have to get on the train and you'll see it's nonsense. Go away! I don't know what you want. It's up to you to leave. Now get on the train. Go away! Your fear is simply ridiculous. Why are you standing so close to me? The man has lost his mind. You want to hold me back. Go ahead, just get on the train. Get on the train, get on the train. One of you will hold me back if I get on the train. Nobody, nobody. I know it. Time is pressing. My dear fellow, will you please get on the train? I know it. One of you will hold me back. One of you will hold me back. Stand clear. You see, you missed it. Now it's rumbling away from you. It's all over. End of Act 2. The Visit by Friedrich Dürrenmatt.